Why don't you say something? Stavrogin called out impatiently to Kirilov as they neared the Stavrogin house. What do you want? Kirilov said, almost slipping off his horse as it reared. I didn't intend to, but I've offended that idiot again. What if I see? Oh, it's this thing. Why don't you say something? Stavrogin called out impatiently to Kirilov as they neared the Stavrogin house. What do you want? Kirilov said, almost slipping off his horse as it reared. I didn't intend to, but I've offended that idiot again, Stavrogin said, containing his outburst of ill temper. You certainly did, Kirilov said sharply. Besides, he's no idiot. I did everything I could, though. That's not true. What else could I have done? Not challenge him? Maybe you think I ought to let him slap me around, too. Yeah, let him slap you. I cease to understand, Stavrogin said, irritated. Why should people expect things of me they don't expect of others? Why should I stand things that no one else would and take upon myself burdens that no one else would bear? I thought you were looking for burdens. Me? Yes. You've noticed that. I have. It's so obvious? It is. For a moment they remained silent. Stavrogin looked very worried. I didn't fire at him because I didn't want to kill. That's all there is to it, I assure you, he said hurriedly, in a worried tone, as if trying to justify himself. You shouldn't have offended him in the first place. What should I have done then? You'd better have killed him. Are you sorry I didn't? I'm sorry about nothing. I thought you really wanted to kill him. You don't know what you're searching for. I'm searching for a burden, Stavrogin laughed. If you didn't want blood spilled, why did you give him the opportunity to kill you? If I hadn't challenged him, he would have killed me anyway, without a duel. That's none of your business. Maybe he wouldn't have. He might have contented himself with slapping me. Is that what you mean? That's none of your concern. Just bear your burden. Otherwise, there's no merit in it. What do I care whether there's merit in it or not? I'm not looking for approval. I thought you were, Kirilov said with icy coldness. They reached Stavrogin's house. Would you like to come in? No, goodbye. Kirilov got off the horse and took his case under his arm. At least you're not angry with me, Stavrogin said, offering him his hand. Not at all. Kirilov had to retrace a few steps to take the hand offered him. Sacrifice is easy to me because it's my nature. It's harder for you because you're different. You shouldn't feel too ashamed of it, just a little. I know I'm not really a strong man, but I don't pretend to be strong. And you shouldn't. You aren't strong. Come and have tea with me sometime. Stavrogin entered his house quite overcome. Inside, Alexei, the footman, informed him that Mrs. Stavrogin, exceedingly pleased that her son had gone out for his first ride after his week-long indisposition, had ordered her carriage and driven out for a breath of fresh air, as Madame always did, although during the past week, Madame has forgotten what fresh air feels like. Did Miss Dasha accompany her? Stavrogin asked, impatiently interrupting the old man. He frowned noticeably when he was told that Dasha couldn't accompany Madame because she's not feeling well and is now in her room. Listen, old man, Stavrogin said, as though he had suddenly come to a decision. Keep an eye on her all the time, and if she tries to see me, stop her. Tell her that I can't see her, at least for the next few days. That I myself ask her, please, to wait, and that I'll let her know when I can. Do you understand? Very good, sir, Alexei said, looking down sadly. Don't do anything, though, until you're sure she's really coming to see me. Rest assured, sir, I understand very well. Miss Dasha has always addressed herself to me whenever she has wished to visit you, sir. I know that, still. Don't do anything unless you're sure she wants to see me. Now, I would appreciate it if you would get me some tea, and as quickly as possible." No sooner had the old man left than the door at Stavrogin's study opened again, and Dasha appeared in the doorway. She was pale, but looked calm. "Where have you come from?" Stavrogin cried. "I was outside, waiting for him to leave. I heard what you told him about me, and when he came out, I hid myself around the corner on the right. He never saw me." "I've been thinking of breaking off with you, Dasha, for the present. I couldn't see you last night despite your note. I wanted to write to you myself, but I don't know how to write," he added with annoyance, almost with disgust. "I myself thought we should break off. Mrs. Stavrogin is getting quite suspicious about us." "Let her. We ought not to worry her, and now until the end comes." "So you're still expecting the end to come?" "Yes, I'm sure of it," she said. "Nothing ever ends in this world. There will be an end to this, and when it comes, you'll call me, and I'll come. And now, goodbye until then." "And what will the end be like?" Stavrogin said, smiling bitterly. "You weren't wounded? And you didn't kill him?" she asked without answering his question. The whole thing was so stupid. "No, don't worry, I didn't kill anyone. Anyway, you'll hear about it from everyone around. I don't feel very well right now. All right, I'm going. There won't be any announcement of the marriage today, will there?" "No, not today. Nor tomorrow either. I don't know about the day after tomorrow. Perhaps we'll all be dead by then. That would be the best thing that could happen. Leave me alone now." "You won't drive another person to her doom. I mean that insane woman." "No, I won't destroy either of the insane women, but I'm sure to spell the doom of the sane one. That's how vicious and disgusting I am. You know, Dasha, I really believe I'll call you at the very end of ends, just as you suggested, and that, despite your sanity, you'll come to me. Tell me, why are you destroying yourself?" "I know that in the end I will remain alone with you, and I am waiting for that." "And suppose I never call you in the end? Suppose I desert you?" "That's impossible. You'll call me all right." "That implies great contempt for me. You know very well that there is much besides contempt. But the way you put it, there still is contempt. I didn't express myself properly. As God's my witness, I hope with all my heart that you won't need me. Whichever way you put it, it comes to the same thing. I, too, wish I would not drag you to your perdition. There's nothing you can ever do that will cause my perdition, and you know it better than anyone else," Dasha said quickly and firmly. "If I don't go with you, I'll become a nurse and care for the sick, or go around selling Bibles. I've made up my mind. I don't want to marry anyone. I don't want to go on living in houses like this one. I don't want any of that, but you know all about it. No, I've never been able to find out what you actually wanted. Sometimes I think you've taken a fancy to me like an elderly nurse to some patient in her ward, or even better, like one of those God-fearing little old ladies who are forever going to one funeral after another and who take a fancy to some particularly charming corpse that is rather prettier than the others. Well, why are you looking at me like that?" "Are you very ill?" Dasha asked with deep sympathy, looking at him with strange intensity. "Ah, good Lord, and he claims he doesn't need me. Listen, Dasha. I've been haunted by spirits all the time recently. One smallish fiend came to me on the bridge and kept offering to slit Lebyadkin's and Maria's throats for me and release me from legal matrimony without leaving any loose ends behind. He asked me for 3 rubles in advance, although he made it perfectly clear that the whole operation would cost at least 1,500. Some calculating demon he was, a real bookkeeper, I'm telling you." "Are you so sure it was a spirit?" "I'm not sure at all. In fact, I know it was only Fedka, the convict, the runaway from Siberia. But that's not the point. Guess what I did? I gave him all the money I had in my wallet, and now he's convinced that it was the advance he asked for. You met him at night then, and he made you that offer? Can't you see that they've completely entangled you in their nets? Well, let them. You know, though, he added with an unpleasant, irritated smile, I can see by your eyes that there's a question that keeps buzzing in your head all the time. Dasha seemed frightened. I have no question, she said with alarm, as if trying to stifle the question within her. Nor do I have any doubts. You'd better keep quiet. Does that mean that you're certain I won't turn to Fedka? Ah, why must you torment me so? All right. Forgive me my poor joke. I must be becoming contaminated by their bad manners. You know, ever since last night, I've felt as though I were about to burst out laughing and go on laughing and laughing without stopping for a long time. I feel loaded with laughter. Shh. Mother's back. I heard her carriage creaking as it stopped. Dasha seized his hand. May God save you from your demon and call me soon. Ah, what kind of a demon is he? He's really just a small, repulsive, pimply abortion of a demon with a cold in the nose. He's one of those failures. But Dasha, isn't there something you would like to say, but don't dare? She looked at him reproachfully, then turned toward the door. Listen, he shouted after her, his face twisted into a malicious grin. Well, you understand, if I did go to him, and if, well, in a word, if, and if after that I called you, would you still come to me? She left without turning her head, covering her face with her hands. She'll come, even if, he whispered, having thought for a while. And an expression of disgust and contempt appeared on his features. Just a nurse. But maybe that's what I need.